Hi, everyone, and welcome. This is Karen Newman. This is the Saturday Human Colony Hucolo webinar. It is Saturday, the 30th of October, 2021, and we are here with our very, very special guest. Well, not guest, but very special channel, Jim Charles. Hi, Jim. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Very good.
That's good.
And I'm turning myself off of YouTube. There we go. So we have a nice group in the room today. We have, let's see, it's not popping up. We have Jim, Michelle, Angie, Carol, Christine, Elga, Yana, Joan, Scott, Shear, Stephanie, Susan. We have Mark in the back over there and David. So Mark's hand, David's hand. Great. Thank you. So tell us about how the magic class went. How was it? Anyone want to share experience? And Jim or Angie or Mark?
Oh, Mark. Okay.
The feedback I've heard and my own feedback is it was very helpful, and new aspects of how to connect with the magic were discussed, and we each got some individual attention and support, and I found the class very helpful.
Oh, good. So when's the next class going to be?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
Angie hasn't announced it yet. No. Where'd she go?
She didn't turn her camera on yet. So,
Okay.
But she's there, I think, somewhere. Pretty sure.
I'm here.
So would the next class, would it be Magic 1, Magic 2? Because there's probably some people that have not done it at all.
So
We have not scheduled, seeing that the class was just last week, we have not set up. We are looking possibly end of January for the next class. We have to give a little time in between. I'm not sure what that class would be, but yeah, I'm looking at, maybe the end of January or the beginning of March, because Jim's taking February off. So it'll either be end of January or March.
You're taking February off?
yes, I'm going to take February off. And
Okay.
this time I am traveling to England.
Oh, that's right. Are you going to be able to do anything from England? Are you going to do an event there? Or you're just going on holiday?
They haven't talked to me about that yet, but they said you must go to England in February. So that's where
Okay. Okay. Are you
so
going
if
go ahead
anybody
and-
wants to put something together over there, from here it's very difficult to know what to do. So
Okay. I know some people, maybe they could put something together for you. We could talk about that on another moment.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we have some requests, but let's do some blessings first. We'll start with Michelle and then David. And then who else was going to do a blessing? We'll start with Michelle. Oh, and Yana do one. Perfect. Okay. But you got to unmute yourself, remember, Yana. Okay, Michelle, go ahead. Michelle, are you muted?
nothing's.
No, she's not here. Oh, she fell out.
Oh.
Okay, well, we'll wait for her to come back. If she doesn't come back, she can do one at the end. Yana, why don't we go with you and then we'll go with David. There's Michelle in the guest room, so she's coming back in.
Hello, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning.
Te astrenai katoa katanei kaya kante ata taria te ke nakatata te ortu e kanta ata na te ko. Oi te ko ai te ne ke ka hatata e ke hatana. Arte tua ne kaya tatane te tu. Oi te a yene kata ai te o ko anta taya nakatata te ne ke. Este te kanakata ort ue te kanai te ke te uko. Ai no e ko ate te o ko ate.
Dear Lord, lead us to higher grounds, higher places in the heart, and higher elevations in peace and understanding. Bring us to a place of a greater light and love, so that we may understand the things that we need to do here on this world as our mission. For the mission will be opened up by the way that we react to the world and the way that the world reacts to us.
Okay, great. Thank you. David.
Yahru ma'atiara. Usan yerekiata muchera no otarakikia. Kukuma hachichiwe. Find the love within. Yeture kia kashanan yeti. Express your true self. Muta adero sa jiki kema. Yenan yeretero to manatiara. Suskur skinje. Kachichiwa. Yechuru tutu yesha. Kiena tetero tu. Peace, love, blessings.
We bring you great joy with our prayers. We ask that you will be blessed and lifted. We ask that this time of great trouble will pass. We are looking for all the positive aspects of your realm to come forth so that you may know and understand that this is a positive way to move. Right now, you are experiencing the negativity, which will bring you closer to the positivity because it is a yin-yang situation, and it will bring you to understanding the difference and the reasoning for all things.
Thank you. Okay, Michelle, go ahead. Welcome back. And unmute yourself.
Thank you. So the message from Takara. Diohia kianya, dia goa dianya kohonia. Ia gaia gatoa dia gata, dia honia kohoa ia gata. Ianya honia kahaya, dorokotonia kataya honia. Ia gata. Namaste.
We are constantly watching your world, helping it and keeping it safe. We are constantly pulling people out of danger. We are always pulling the axis back so that it will not overturn the earth. We are always here to bring joy to you as much as possible, and we are here to serve your planet. With great love and understanding, we bring forth all that we can to protect you. God give you great strength as you continue to move through this realm.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So we have some requests. I will read them through. There was a request for Archangel Uriel from Shir, a spiritual advisor who can speak about abundance and conscience of wealth. Or is it conscience or consequence of wealth, Shir?
Consciousness.
Consciousness of wealth, okay. And Kek, the Egyptian deity of destroying and rebuilding. Takara, Lakesh would be nice. Kuan Yin, and then from the YouTube chat, we have Prometheus, brother Epimetheus. I think that's how you would say it. Epimetheus is Prometheus's brother, and Enki from the Anunnaki.
Okay.
Okay, those are the requests. Did I miss anyone? No. Okay.
What were you going to say?
No, I was just saying, did I miss anything? But I think.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
I am Elijah.
Welcome.
Greetings. I know that all of you are understanding who God is in some way. You all have your understandings within yourself of who and what God is. Trust him. Understand him even more. Bring his light into you in a greater way. Request of him what you need, for he is wanting to be more personal with you. I understand that many of you think that he is very far away, that he is too far away, and perhaps not interested in the human race at all. But that simply is not true. God is in everything. He has created everything, and so every essence, every compound, every material good, every piece of matter, God is part of and is in it. Now, his consciousness is not necessarily there, but when you call on him, his consciousness will come to you. Trust him, use him. I know many of you use the angels, many of you use the ascended masters. Many of you use different methods to call on healing and love and guidance. But God wants to be part of that as well. Do not leave him out of the circle. Do not leave him out of the loop. He has more power than all the ones that you call on. He has more power than any of these and will definitely help you in times of need. You just must believe and know that it is true. I know many of you from very early on have been taught many different things about God and about religion and about how to worship. And some of it could be a little incorrect because it is manipulated by mankind. Mankind takes and uses everything for his own good. God does not do that. God is allowing man to have free will. Is that for his own good? I sometimes wonder. Is God going to change anything in you? I don't think so. He wants to change those things that do not belong within you to make you happier and more successful and more whole and pure and joyful. But he does not want to make you miserable. That is not the way that God is. Remember this. He is here for you. Any doubts, any thoughts of negativity, anything that is bothering you, let it go. It does not serve you. And God knows that it does not. But he will not take it away. You must do it. You must let go of the pain. You must let go of the nastiness, the negativity, and these things. Then he will deal with it and bring freshness to your soul and to your life. But he's not going to come in and sort through your attic and throw out the bad things that don't belong there. You must do that. You must sort through your soul. You must sort through your mind. You must sort through everything and keep everything positive. Or get rid of those things that are negative. If you ask for help, he will help with that. But you must tell him what you really want. You must be very specific and tell him what things that need to go. And then you can work on it together. Today, I am not so preachy. I am here to just let you know that there is a great abundance in God, a great understanding of you from God, but you must trust him and you must give of yourself to him. You give yourself to angels, you give yourself to higher deities, but and they are attached to God. But he'd like to speak to you personally now and then. So please make time for him. I understand that many of you feel distanced from God because of many things that have happened to you in the past. Things that you've learned in church, or things that have happened to you that were blamed on God, or he was given the blame for it. But let me tell you this, he is not to blame. He is not to blame. He has allowed you to do what you want. Of course, your governments and all kinds of things take away that free will, because there is imperfection and negativity on the planet. If there was no such thing as negativity on your planet, then your free will would be much different. But you still have many things. And many of you think, oh, this is a prison planet, or you listen to these very sordid, very negative views of the planet. Yes, the planet is in trouble, but you do not have to be in prison there. God has power, and God can free you from any situation. If you believe you are in prison, then you are. If you believe God can spring you from prison, then you will be out. And some say, oh, escape the matrix. There is no way to escape the matrix. But you can bring all the good things of the matrix to you and refuse the evil part of the matrix, or the negative part. Everything has a way. Everything has its rules. You have your own rules. You live by your own rules. But you don't want to live by anybody else's. But you must admit, you make the rules for yourself. And you don't want anybody to come and break your rules. You don't want anybody to interfere with your life. You don't want anybody to stumble in and change the way you live. But yet, you will do that to others. Sometimes it's unavoidable. Sometimes it is what it is. But God can help you through all these situations. Now that sort of bounced out of your thought process and made you think something very different. But that's what I wanted. I wanted you out of looking at that for a moment and looking at God for who he is. God has rules and regulations, but they are not ones that stifle you. They are ones that keep you safe. They are ones that keep you secure, and ones that keep you out of trouble. Mankind has a way of disobeying God in ways that will put damage on the world, damage on himself, damage on the people. That's not God's will. Holy wars are not God's will. Fighting in the name of God is not God's will. Love is his highest endeavor. Peace, love, understanding and compassion, and wisdom and light. These are things that God wants, but many have taken what God wants and twisted it into something negative, into something manipulative, into something not favorable. You do that yourself. You can make certain situations twisted into your own thought process, and therefore somebody else is wrong and you are right. You rationalize that everything that you do is all right, and everything that they do can be improved or isn't right. How do they think about you? Well, look at how many people are flocking to you for your wisdom and understanding. How bright is your light in the world? Shine. Shine the positivity. Shine the beauty, the wisdom, the compassion. Help each other. That is one thing that I cannot stress enough. Help each other. If you're not helping each other, what are you doing? Your missions are all about help in one way or another. Help is what you do for your mission in one way or another. If you are not reaching out or reaching in to help something somewhere, then reevaluate yourself, because God wants you to help. He does not want you just to learn and keep all that information to yourself. If you learn many things, teach it. That can be a help. If you know many things, tell it, share it. That can be a help. But don't be arrogant about it and say, oh, this is something that God gave to me and you don't have it, but I do. This is not the way that God wants to share that information, but he wants you to give of yourself. Be happy to share and happy to understand everyone that you're speaking to, not looking down on them or treating them cruelly or anything like that, but being a friend, an equal. Speak to everyone as you would want them to speak to you. Well, I am gone on even longer than I thought I would, but I pray for all of you, and I ask that you all pray that God will come to you and give you some word, some wisdom, some understanding. And if you are not doing your mission, I ask that you call on him to help you to know what to do. Much love to all of you. And I will go now.
Thank you.
Greetings, I am Takara.
Welcome, Takara. Nice to see you, hear
Thank
you one more time. Thank you.
It is good to be here with all of you. It is always a pleasure to come here. What questions would you ask of me? I know that many of you are wanting to know when the government meeting will start. It is going to start on November. It originally was going to start November 22nd. Now they have moved it up to November 20th. So this is my understanding. They are bringing it even closer to now. So the galactic meetings and all of your participation will be allowed are going to start on November 20th, 2021. So this will be a good time for all of you to bring your wisdom to this meeting, your information, your understandings, and the things that you need and want. Are there any questions?
Yes, there was. Who was it that requested to occur? Christine? Or not? Who was it?
I do
Jana.
not know.
Oh,
Jana.
Mark. Mark, you have a question? No.
David did.
Michelle has a question. Go ahead, Michelle. Okay, we'll come to David next. Go ahead, Michelle.
Where is he?
Hi, Takara. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. It's a good to see you.
You too. Thank you. I have a question about Area 53. Is there anything new about the spouses meeting? Their off-world spouses.
Yes, I understand. They just had, I don't know if you're updated on what was happening. They stopped all kinds of work on Area 53s because they wanted to have another meeting in October of your time. That meeting has just passed within the last 5 days. And they have decided to continue to work on Area 53. There might be some changes. It was a closed meeting at first. The first 2 hours of it were closed just to humans, and then they opened it up for other species and people to speak after that, and it went on for another 3 hours. So what was understood is they're going to keep moving forward. They have listened to all the requests of all the peoples that have sent in anything, and also they have listened and seen all the requests from the alien standpoint, and they are going to modify the Area 53s not to be so clinical, not to be so medical, meaning that at first they were going to bring people there and then pretty much give them an analysis or an examination or several different things. They were going to do mental scans and all kinds of things. They don't know what they're going to do instead of that. They don't want to completely give that idea up, but they said they will modify it so it is not so intrusive. Now, we have not seen any action since the meeting in Area 53 yet, but I'm sure that it will start back up soon.
Yes, thank you very much. What mode of transportation will the spouses be using to get to Area 53?
It depends on who it is. Some will come and beam down. Some will have to actually be let in, and some will, because they have different oxygen chambers and places set up for different species. There are several different species that will be able to use these areas, and then others will have to wear their suits for protection. But it was, I think beaming in is probably the most probable way that they will do, but I have not heard them talk about that yet.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you. Mark, did you have a question? Go ahead.
Yes, can you tell me the number of people currently in the lottery for slots at Area 53 and the other number for similar facilities worldwide?
There are going to be 6 worldwide facilities, but the ones for those that have spouses in your country will be in Area 53. There will be a Russian area. There will be an Australian area. There will be there is not going to be an area in China because they're prohibiting it. There will be one in Germany and Europe area. There will be one in the English area and Canada. Now, South America and Africa are not involved with this yet because they are not as advanced. They do have areas that they could be doing some building, but they have not decided to do that. This is quite an expense for the governments to do. So it is that Africa and South America are not very wealthy areas necessarily. And they are hesitant to do this yet. They want to see how it works with the other sites, and then they will decide whether they will do that or not.
What I was driving at is how many people, how many humans are on the list
Oh.
for the positions at Area 53 once it's complete?
Oh, they're all on the list that have expressed interest in it. And so anyone who has expressed interest will be on the list. There are some that have said they will boycott it, so they have been taken off the list. But I would say in the United States, there's at least 40 on the list.
Thank you.
Thank you. Was it David that had a question from in the room, right? David, go ahead, but he's not in the room anymore. Now he's
No,
online.
he said he didn't have a specific question. He just wanted to hear from Takara, and so he's
Oh,
here.
well, now he's saying he has a question. So let him go first because he
Oh.
requested.
All
Go ahead,
right.
David. Then we'll come back with Michelle. I mean, excuse me, with Suzanne. Okay, David?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I just intuitively felt like we should bring Takara in, and I was just wondering if there was any specific message that would be good for me and the collective. Yeah.
Well, right now for each individual, there is much going on. It seems, I'm not sure how many of you experience a greater pressure on your understanding, your being, a greater tension, a greater negativity seems to be moving in. Everyone is seemingly to be seems to be a little bit more tense, a little bit more I'm not sure exactly, anxious may be the word, but it is that is coming, but God will take care of that. But the thing is, for your peoples, yes, there are things on the horizon, and always are, that look negative. Many of those things have passed through already, such as Afghanistan and the storms that killed people and the earthquakes. But right now there is at least 100 volcanoes going off around your planet. And that is more than we have seen going on for a long, long time. You may not hear about these because they're going on in places that are in tropical areas of the Pacific that are not being monitored, areas in the Atlantic that are not being monitored. And so there's many volcanoes happening around your planet right now. And this is telling us that it's that's a serious problem, along with the earthquakes that go with it. Sometimes instead of the volcano, you get a great deal of earthquake activity, but earthquakes usually accompany volcanoes to some extent. Not that they are very strong, but they, as the lava or magma is moving up through, it causes the earth to shake and shimmer. Whereas when it's subdued, and the tectonic plates are moving, then that's when you have the earthquakes. So, and there have been many more of those as well. Did I answer your question?
Yes, yeah, just anything that you wanted to share. Thank you. Much love.
Very good.
Thank you. There's a question from Suzanne. Go ahead, Suzanne.
Blessings to Kerr. Thank you so much for coming. I'm always happy to hear you.
Thank you.
I also was going to ask about the earth and how it was doing. So I think David did a pretty good job with that. I wondered too, are there any particular extraterrestrial influences right now on Earth or on the people?
The answer to that is yes. And they have, the thing is, there's always been extraterrestrial influences. Some of them have been very positive, and some of them have been not so positive. Right now, there is a great deal of positivity happening from our direction and from many of the leagues of light and positive areas, but there are some negative interferences as well. And so it's sort of a clash of energies out here because it's a free solar system, free will. Those who are there are allowed in because there was a ruling by the galactic government that there was some being not allowed in because they were considered negative, and it was ruled that until they do something negative, they are allowed to be in the solar system. So they could be doing some very negative things and we don't know about it. So that is something that was understood by the galactic government, that their free will was being interrupted because they were considered negative by the species that were watching the solar system. And so the government did rule in their favor.
Thank you. That's very interesting. I think everybody kind of feels it, and maybe it's the planets as well. But there seems to be more stress and perceived, not negativity necessarily, but just perceived issues coming up for everybody.
Yes, and they seem to be enlarging just around everybody's person in the realm. I think if you would talk to people, this is probably the most stressful time on your planet that I have seen. There is much division. Families are fighting, friends are fighting. There's a division in understanding and knowledge being spread about many different things. And these conspiracy theories, no, what you believe about conspiracy theories is your own business, but many of them are not true and many of them are destructive.
Agreed. Thank you so much. Okay,
You're welcome.
thanks.
Thank you so much. Okay, there is a question from Yana. Go ahead, Yana.
Greetings.
Hi, Takara. Blessings. So nice to hear you.
Thank you.
Takara, I was wondering how the situation is around the medication that could help with the coronavirus, and if there is a collaboration possible from your side and your scientists to influence or inspire that for the scientists on Earth.
According to what we understand from YouTube, we are not allowed to even say that word.
Okay. So you can't comment on that.
No, are we allowed to comment on that, because you will be given a bad mark, and that will bring you one step closer to being ejected from YouTube.
Okay. So then a personal question: am I still teaching the classes there?
Yes, you still are.
Oh, yeah, that's wonderful.
Absolutely.
Okay.
In fact, you asked us if you could teach more because you have some free time in your real life, and your astral life, you want to stay busier.
Yes, that's exactly what I noticed. So thank you so much for doing all the work out there, and keep on inspiring us and helping us. This was it for now, but it's always nice to hear from you. So blessings and love.
Very well. Very nice to hear from you.
Thank you. Okay, there's a question from Sheer. Go ahead, Sheer.
Hi, I think Christine is.
Yeah, Christine is first. Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, Cher, hold on one second. Christine, go ahead. Sorry for that.
Greetings, Liqueur. I'm Liqueur. I was wondering if you could help me with or give me some encouragement if I'm going in the right direction, like I'm trying to heal animals and myself and those around me, or remotely.
Your mission is to help animals. You have been able to get through to them and help them, even though you do not see sometimes the physical changes. What you are doing has really helped the animals. The one with the great rash is actually feeling much better and feeling much more content. And even though it's still there to some extent,
Okay.
it is not like it was. It's not bothering them like it was.
And
Now let me.
I'm sorry.
What?
And I was going to say, and I can no longer see it on her. Now it's
Correct.
her litter mate that is having problems.
Very well.
So I'm wondering, am I causing a lot of this going on in my household where my pets are feeling unhappy? Like the one that, oh.
I don't think that your pets are unhappy. Do you?
Well, this one that's meowing next to me is sprained, and I've taken her to the vet and the whole bit to see what's wrong, if she has a kidney infection or something, and they're saying there's nothing they can do.
That is possible, but it is something we can look into. Since she's a cat, that would be under my category.
Oh, good.
So I will look at her and see what's going on with her.
Yeah,
But
I think
she might just be trying to get your attention about something else. I don't think that all in all she is unhappy. She might be unhappy about something she sees in the yard, something she's detecting around her personal space. But you treat her very well, and so she's not necessarily unhappy with you. She may be unhappy with something, but not you.
Oh, maybe with the dog, because the dog is getting more pushy about pushing the cats away.
I see. He likes his space.
No, well, I don't know. I'd like to learn to talk with the cats or to hear them.
Eventually, humans will be able to do that, but remember, they don't speak English. But
right.
You can read their emotions. That's how you talk to them.
Yeah. Okay.
Read their emotions, sense how they are feeling, know them you know their personalities. You've been around them a long time. You know what they used to be like, you know how they are now. So if there are changes in the personality, feel that change, see what it is.
Okay. I was also worried because I'm in a lot of pain often that was kind of causing them problems.
You are not transferring your pain. You have no intention of doing so.
Good, good. Okay. Thank you, Takara.
You're welcome.
Okay, now, Sheer. Thanks for waiting.
Greetings, Sticker. How are you?
I am very well. And yourself?
I'm doing great.
Good.
About the spouse meeting, you said that the governments are finding issues because of the funding of those establishments, those 6 establishments. Do you think that if the outwardly spouses, that some of them are very wealthy, maybe if they could trade them like gold for creating those establishments, maybe that would be more lucrative for the governments to keep up the pace and maybe create even more establishments like Area 53?
yes, since you have mentioned it, they will look into that. That is something that they have discussed, I am sure, but they have not asked anyone to give anything at this point. The reason for this is because they are funding it themselves and they are trying to do what they want to do. If someone else funds it, then their ideas will have to be looked at as well. In the South America and Africa areas, yes, perhaps funding would be the best idea down there. However, that would give whoever does the funding some pull and some thought process on how this is going to work, because they will have given the money. It will be their rules and regulations and not the government's.
I see. Also, do you have any messages or something that you can say about abundance, consciousness of wealth, how to attract that,
Yes.
something that could help everyone here?
Well, right now, like I said, everybody's feeling greater stress and greater anxiety. So that makes the law of attraction and the law of the matrix more difficult, because they have to keep free from that, from those negativities, to actually bring the abundance to them. But there are some things that we are working on to bring more abundance to your people. There are so many that have been really, really attacked, more than you can imagine. Some of them, and others that have been very, very protected. We're trying to look into this to see why so many have such differing protection systems, and that has something to do with finances as well. So we're looking into that, and we're hoping to be able to bring some clarity to why so many people are attacked and other people are not. And the other people that are not being attacked are gaining in their um, in a lot of different ways, and those that are being attacked are just being almost completely destroyed. So it is a very strange world that you live in at this time. Perhaps they are just trying to destroy people a few at a time, the ones that have the greatest power and energies, uh, or something. I'm not sure how they're determining who to attack, but it doesn't make much sense to us at this point. But we will be getting to that point, and we will be trying to protect everyone the way that those that are not being attacked are being protected. But we see very little difference. It's unusual.
Thank
So
you.
yes, but I'm going to, I will be sending something to you in the matrix, bring the matrix to you in a very positive way for funding. And I see some things that we can send to you as well.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Let's see, there's some questions from the YouTube chat. Let me go to those. Okay, Daniel's question is, oh, well, wait a minute, let me go up a little bit. Sorry, I want to make sure I got everyone questions. Okay. Daniel's question is, how was the planet Maldek destroyed, the fifth planet in this system, and Mars in the past?
Well, that was before our time, before we knew about this solar system. But it would appear that it was destroyed intentionally. It was not a natural act. That is what we have been told. And also from an analysis of different things in the asteroid belt and different analysis of different places on planets around Saturn and Jupiter and even Mars, that it was not an accident, and it was something of a war back then before our history, and there are evidences of that.
Okay, thank you for that. Veritas says, when the La Palma tsunami hits New York City, will the global reset of the flat economy follow immediately after?
No, the cabal will keep the economy afloat for now because they need it to be afloat for now. They are not prepared completely to take over the world, because when the economy collapses, it'll be all economies, not just one, but it will be a domino effect. If two major economies collapse at one time, then you can be sure that many others will follow. I cannot give too much information on this because we only see a probable future and not a clear and definite future. But we see that at this point, the economy will not collapse yet.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Tanita says, okay, this is about hybrid child. She says, I've been wanting to know what the other race of my hybrid child, Priyata, is and how is she doing?
Let me check in with Sengi and I will let you know.
Okay, she
Priyata
says she's
and how old?
Priyata.
Yes, one moment.
Thank you.
Sengi, Guatia, Essential Vio, Wa, Ka, Titia, Rondia Din, Priyata, Natato.
There's a question in both chats about what is the purpose of Area 53. There's people that are not familiar
I
with
will
that.
get to that one moment. Priyata is Arcturian.
Okay. So, thank you. Oh, sorry, I moved to another question already. Sorry.
Yes.
Cami, and also in the chat, people were asking what is the purpose of Area 53?
The Area 53s, or the areas that I was talking about that are being set up, are about bringing extraterrestrial spouses to the planet. There have been several hundred marriages in the astral with aliens and humans, and aliens and different things. Then the humans decided that they wanted to meet their spouses, that being in the astral was just not enough. And the kings of Maya, most notable Tosca and Kwaya, want that to be able to see their spouses in person. And so they've requested a place on the planet where they can visit with their spouses. And this has been approved at this point. And that is why these areas are being built, is to bring these spouses together. However, let me tell you why it was approved is because they want to analyze these aliens. They want to analyze them and find out more about them. And this can be for positive and negative reasons. And so it is that some of the people will not go to these areas, Area 53s, because they feel that it's not a positive thing.
So it's not one area, but several areas. It's just area, the type of area is 53.
It's the same. It's a meeting area for spouses and aliens, humans and aliens with spouses outside of the realm. And they will be totally private. No one in the world will be able to find them, etc. So it will be a place where no one knows.
Okay, thank you. All right. There's a question from Richard. He says, how many, the list you were speaking of, how many in Canada are on that list? He wants to know.
Canada has its own Area 53, or whatever you want to call it. they're going to have their own place. And on that list, there are 33 that have agreed to go on the list from there.
Okay. Curious Light Channeler says, I was thinking, why not make the first contact a dance party? Why not just fly over every continent with spaceships shaped like peace signs and smiley faces with fun Earth music playing? That's a nice idea. I guess it's just a comment, not really a question.
Yeah, well, many things like that have been considered. But then, will aliens be taken seriously? That was the other point of that. They want to be taken seriously, but they also don't want to be feared. So they are trying to find ways to become part of your world that are not frightening. And so what is happening is they're becoming slowly integrated into the planet, meaning that those that are in the under realms of the planet are starting to come out. And there are many on the planet that are aliens that were grandfathered in from the time of separation that actually have taken on human personas and will eventually show people who they really are. They are doing this already. There are some people that are seeing aliens because their friends are showing their close friends that they are alien. And their close friends are going, I can't believe it. It just, but they're only showing them and telling him, I'm showing you now so that you won't be afraid. But it's not yet time for us to reveal ourselves to the world. So please
yeah,
keep that
I
under
keep
wraps.
picturing ships going by going, party people. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's a good suggestion. I think that's the
Yeah.
way they should come. Trinity Morgan says, have we on Earth changed to a more negative timeline? If so, has first contact been pushed back a very long time?
No, it may seem that way, but it is not that way. It is what it is to be. This is how it's supposed to be. And yes, it's more difficult. There are more difficult things coming, but it is not a different timeline. All the timelines are experiencing something like this. So you will understand that it is just the way of the definite future that things are coming to all the timelines that are negative. And it will not push first contact back. It will actually contribute to bringing first contact into greater awareness. And I can't tell you how that is, but it will eventually do that.
Okay, let's see. Sean, do you want to ask your question, Sean? Because there's other people that this question. Sean? Sean has a question. It says, how do I get on the list? Oh, you go ahead, Sean. Go ask your question.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, how do you get on that list?
I think you're already on it. The thing is, that's determined in the astral when you're visiting the astral. Those people that are not aware of their what they have said on the earth plane will definitely give their permission or denial in the astral.
Oh, okay. So I'm already on the list. Did you say that?
Yes.
Oh, wow. So how do you, when that like comes online, how do they notify you? And then how do you?
They have not yet decided how to do that because
Okay.
it must be a way that is very private and very personal, but yet very definite. And that is a difficult thing for them to do at this time. But I think that it will be working through the cell phone system.
Okay. And then you were mentioning some dates about November 20th. I came
That
in a
is-
little late. What was that about again?
That was when the government meetings start this time. I'm sure you've heard of the government meetings before where they meet and many people come in the astral to give their opinions or answer questions or make speeches or whatever it is they were there to do. And so that starts on November 20th. So those of you that are planning to speak, prepare now. A lot of you prepare in the astral, so you don't even know in your third dimension what you're going to be speaking about, or third density, I should say, what you're going to be speaking about. But when you get there, it just flows. So
Who's all going to be participating in that?
as many as want. It's going to be at least 10 days. It always is. Recently, it's been 12, but not everybody goes every day, of course. But and even the government officials that are there changes out because not all government officials can be at the meetings at the same time. So because they have to other things that are pressing in their jobs or in their responsibilities.
So this is going on in the physical and not in the astral, right?
It is going on in the physical, in the human realm with the governments, but the humans that are there to give their opinions, that is in the astral, and they are being able to be seen because other species are making it possible.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. All right. Thank you. That was all I had. Much love.
Very well. Yes.
Okay,
Thank
thank you very much. Some people are asking in the chat if they have spouses, but also I guess the question would be, how do you have a spouse? Silver Fox and Stephen both want to know, do they have spouses in the astral, because they're tired when they wake up, so they want to know.
The thing is, you will eventually know if you have a spouse in the astral because they will make themselves known to you.
Okay.
All these people that are aware of their spouses, the spouses have actually come to them in some way because they find a way to get through to you to make you aware of them. And yes, you can be tired when you wake up from the astral because you've been doing much work there as well. Not necessarily that you're fighting with your spouse or having sex or whatever, but you're definitely doing things in the astral. But I will check on those. It is possible that the spouse has not found a way to get through to them yet.
Okay. Would you say the majority of people have spouses in the astral, or is it?
No.
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 Okay.
The majority of people do not have spouses in the astral. This is something recent within the last, maybe, I know that it started happening in the 70s, maybe even in the 60s a little bit, but it was not a popular thing to announce or do until the 2000s.
Okay. All right. Okay. Sheer has a question. Go ahead, Sheer. Sheer?
You are muted.
Yeah, I don't know if he's still here.
Maybe he's gone. It's possible.
It should, no, he's here. Maybe he stepped away for a moment. Okay, that was all the question. Oh, Rado has a question. He says, what is a positive timeline? Anything we are given to experience gives way positive learning and expansion. And that way it's more of a matter of perspective.
Every timeline can be positive because there's positivity and negativity in every timeline. Now, you make the timeline more positive by the things that you do or interact with in this timeline. Now, it is not that there is a purely positive timeline. That doesn't exist. But a timeline exists in God's understanding as a free will timeline. And so you will be able to choose positivity, negativity, whatever it is that you are doing, your job, your understanding. So you make it positive or negative. It's not that it is created that way.
Okay.
Now, you may say, well, then how do you know what's going to happen in that timeline? Because we see what mankind has done over the years in these timelines, which are multiple, many, 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 many. And we see probable futures. And there are some definite things in the future, but we are not allowed to say anything about those or the probable futures at this point. You can say, what's the difference between a probable future and a definite future? The definite future is laid out by God that it will definitely happen no matter what. A probable future is one that we can see that there is a probability of this happening at a certain time, but there's still many decisions to be made beforehand that might influence that decision or change it. So definite outcome versus probable outcome.
Okay, thank you. There's a question from Kat.
Greetings.
Hi, Takara. How's it going?
I'm doing well.
Good. I see many people jobs, and it's very bizarre. And my question is, what is actually behind this? Do the companies receive money from the governments to reinforce the thing?
Well, sometimes the government reinforces some of these things, but they don't know what they're reinforcing. It's not that they know what they do necessarily. They think they're doing this, but they're actually doing this. And sometimes other personal contributions are backing negativity as well. There is a lot of negative people that have a lot of money, and so they do what they need to do to get their agenda across. And sometimes this can be influencing a company or influencing an idea. Even a grassroots movement can be influenced by a lot of money to change their objectives and change their direction.
Mm-hmm. So it's not a direct involvement or from government.
It can be, but they are not. And sometimes they know what they're doing, but most of the times I think they believe that they're doing one thing and they're doing something else. Depends on who the leader is that's releasing the money.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, it saddens me a little bit because I met people who lose their jobs, and they seem kind of desperate, and
Why
I
did
don't
they
know.
lose their jobs?
Because they're they're mandated to take the sting.
No, vaccine.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't want to say that word, but it is what it is. I really can't speak about that at all.
Well, I didn't about the government contributing to the.
Well, the government contributes because they were told this is all very positive, this is all very good, this is all very helpful, and in order for it to be totally eliminated, they will have to make decisions for other people because other people are not making the proper decisions. That's how they look at it, and they look at it that all the way around the world.
Mm-hmm.
There is not one country that is doing that. It's all countries.
Yeah. Is there any weaknesses that I should, do you see any weaknesses in on myself that I should work on, that you can see?
Any witnesses?
Yeah, things that I don't see, or
If there is anything that you need to see, I will make sure that you do see it. You might, but you actually have free will to choose what you see. So I am not saying that I'm going to force anything on you, but I might try to put things in front of you to look at, and perhaps you will look at it, or perhaps you won't.
yeah. Okay. Much love. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Everyone, I just want to please state again, we are not going to talk about the V or the C or any of the things on this channel, not because we don't want to, but because YouTube puts a strike against our account and we just don't want the problem. So any questions like that really need to go into a private session. It's just so we can stay around. So please refrain from any questions about those things, anything about them. Thanks so much. All right, there's a question from, let's see. Oh, Trinity, Ross Angela says, can you tell me how many hybrid children I have now and the name of the last one and where is he or she at the moment? It seems to be Arcturian. Can you confirm?
Well, we would have to do some research to see how many she has. But
Okay.
the last one, if it was just recently born, is Arcturian, and the name is, it is a boy. And the name is Bunem.
Okay, thank you. There's a question from M. It's Alan wants to send his gratitude to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. M says, how accurate is the law of one material? Thank you.
Good question, depending on the teacher. Remember, when people teach, they're interpreting information that was written down from a long time ago. Remember also that it was interpreted from the tablets a long time ago. So some things are not right, but most things are, if they interpreted it correctly, it would be very close to being perfect. So, but if there's someone teaching the law of one, you need to be careful, listen carefully. There are many things in there that are very, very good, but there are a few things that you might want to question.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for that. Let's see. Oh, Richard wants to know, Richard Hausman says, what do I talk about in the government meetings?
You talk about freedom of space, but that is only one thing you talk about. The other thing is you want the spouses to come to Earth as well. You want first contact. You want, there's several things you talk about because you have many different agendas in your thought process. Trade agreements is also part of one of the things you talk about. Depending on the meeting and what the subject matter that comes up, you usually have something to say about it.
Okay, all right. And then I missed a question from Solaris. Solaris says, are the 7 hermetic principles the universal laws such as cause and effect, polarity, vibration, etc.? What are the laws that govern the universe?
That's, well, you have to understand that each density and dimension have different laws for their own areas. Science changes a little bit as you move up into different densities. You might think that things stay the same, but actually even mathematics changes with some densities. You have some proof of that on Earth already. There are some problems that if they are solved on your planet would bring forth an actual new form of mathematics. And these problems have never been solved because of that. You cannot figure out the new realm of mathematics. So the answer to that question, I can tell you this: gravity is universal, light is universal, vibration is universal. Let's see, density is universal, but it changes from one. It is density, but it always changes. But your density stays the same. The matrix is universal and goes through all things and all densities and dimensions. So there are certain things that, yes, there are true, and they go through everything. I'm not a scientist, so I don't remember all of them, but I know light, gravity, sound, density, vibration, all are part of universal that exist in all parts of the universe. Maybe not in the same way, but they all exist in different parts of the universe. Light, even in this density, may look different in another density. Gravity in this density may be of a seemingly different way in another universe or another density or dimension. So, but they all still exist. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you. There's a question from Trinity about, you answered this actually, but maybe I think she missed it. You said it's about how can spouses who breathe different air and from different dimensions be intimate in those meetings in Area
Yes.
53?
They will create a space for you, and they're still working on that, because there are certain dimensions and things that they don't understand the makeup of the atmospheric energies, but there's something that you can place, that the alien can place in their nose, that will breathe their oxygen or their atmosphere and be able to live in the oxygen around humans. Now, there are some difficulties with some species not being able to have their bodies touch the air that is considered with the human beings, because it may damage their skin or cause them to feel very hot or cold or whatever. So they're working on these kinds of atmospheric compromises, so that both humans and aliens can be in the same room together, if that be the case.
Okay, thank you. There's a question from Scott. Go ahead, Scott. Can you unmute or not?
Yes, you mentioned the law of one. Recently, I heard about the children of the law of one, and there was a group on the earth that have been here for a long time. Some of them, like the Buddhists, will reincarnate as the leaders. Is this indeed a group?
There is a group, but you must understand about the law of one. They're the protectors of the law of one, and so they have a very staunch understanding of what it is, and they agree on that. And not everybody does. Not everybody outside that group does. But they are coming from original interpretation from this the stones and the way that it was presented originally. And they are, they do fight and haggle over some interpretations. So they do exist, but there's not very many of them.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Michelle, do you want to ask the question?
Yes, I'll ask. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead, Michelle.
Thank you. Takara, could you tell me if nickel is being sprayed out of the chemtrail planes in order to have the effect of keeping humanity down, keeping humanity's gifts from really rising up? The story of Superman, how kryptonite was his downfall. Well, is nickel the same for humans as kryptonite is to Superman?
Not completely, but there is nickel in the chemtrails because there's many different minerals and things and chemicals in the chemtrails. It's not just it's a very mixed bag when it comes to the chemtrails. There is not enough nickel in there to actually affect anything except for the fact that chemtrails have been going on now for quite a long time. So it is that because of the length of time it's been going on, chemtrails are affecting humanity in a negative way because of not only nickel, but some other things that are in the chemtrails, the chemicals that are there. And also because negative beings are spreading gases and negative things throughout the atmosphere. So we are actually trying to help take those things out. But at this point, it is not really affecting humanity yet. Not really. Because so many have taken so many out of the atmosphere. We've been working on that for quite a while.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, Kat has a question. Go ahead, Kat.
What was the question? Is it true that the gravity has instant speed across the universe, like instant manifestation?
Gravity?
Yep.
Gravity remains the same in the density that it's in, but gravity has intensified in some ways, yes. And that has something to do with prophecies of the universe and the way that some species are handling time travel and some species are handling moving through the universe. So it's affecting gravity, light, etc.
But it has an instant manifestation, like speed, like infinite speed, or what should I call it?
Oh, it's instantaneously available at every level. Yes.
And so you can talk through gravitational waves across the universe instantly.
Yes, if you know how to do that.
I have an idea, but I'm not.
There are many ways to speak to others through the universe, and gravitational energy is one of those ways. It's not commonly used, but it is used by some species.
Is it true that if you go out of the Earth, so if you are in the space, you don't see actually the stars?
It depends on the speed that you are moving.
No, if you're just out of the space, so outside the
gravitational pull of the Earth, or
no.
Yes, you will see the stars if you were outside of Earth. Yes, you will see stars. Where you would not see stars is between the universes, And sometimes between the galaxies, there's no stars. So, but you will be able to see stars no matter where you are in the universe.
So the light from a star doesn't depend of what the way we see it is not because of the oxygen, the atmosphere, the air atmosphere.
No, if you would ask those that have traveled outside of the atmosphere, they will let you know that you can see the stars even then.
Okay. I appreciate. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Joan, did you want to ask that question? Oh, she wants me to ask for her. Okay. Joan says, Wendy, Susan, and Joan are drawn to go to Florida in November 19th to the 21st to do a ceremony on the 20th near the ocean. Is there any galactic going on? Is there any galactic going to participate out there? And is it true that a big portal will be opening? What exactly?
Yes, a portal will be opening, but they're just bringing it to a particular location. There's portals that will open in other places as well, but that one will be a strong one. And other galactic beings will probably be there. Yes, I don't know exactly who. I will try to be there. But yes, there will be those that want to witness that.
Okay, she wants to know what exactly they're going to do there. Well,
they're going to stimulate the opening of the porthole. It is during a full moon, perhaps. Is it?
I don't know, but she said something like, is it because we're bringing the codes from Shasta and then taking more codes from the oceans? Any insight on that?
The codes can, yes, there's a lot of different codes, and they can be brought there and used there, of course. So if you're bringing codes along with you, of course, they're going to be valuable. There will be codes there already, of course. And there will be codes coming there, of course. So whatever you bring will help to make powerful and stable the vortex that you are trying to make.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right. Richard wants to know. Okay, well, I'll ask Richard's question first. Richard wants to know if contact will happen before 2023 or 2024.
That is one of the unknown futures. That's a probable future. The probable future is that by 2024 or 2025, many aliens will be known on the earth, will be saying that they are aliens.
Yeah. Curious Light Channel made a comment, and I had the same comment, so I'm going to read it. He says, I haven't noticed any chemtrails anymore. I haven't either. Every plane I've seen, I haven't seen any trails that coming out of any planes lately. And there's a plane passing by my head right now.
Right.
Yeah.
It depends. Now, the chemtrails are made by how cold the atmosphere is, meaning that when the chemtrails turn to ice crystals, you'll be able to see that in your atmosphere. Sometimes, if some planes are at lower altitudes, they will not seemingly have a chemtrail whatsoever. They still are releasing exhaust, but the chemtrails will not be seen because they're not turning into ice crystals.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Oh, there's a question from M, says, do psychedelic substances help enlightenment, and are they used throughout the universe?
Psychedelic substance can be used to do such things. You must intend them to be used in that matter. Yes, they are used by many different species. I would not say by every species. They have been outlawed by about 4 or 5 species. But yes, psychedelics have yes, affected understanding, vision, and inner thought processes when looking at aliens, when looking at things that are outside your realm. They can bring things outside your realm into your realm.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Let me
Be
just-
careful, though. You must always use caution.
Daniel wants to know, actually, Veritas, I'll start with Veritas. Veritas says, can you please send the group healing and blessings as we're all suffering in the matrix right now?
Yes, I can send a healing that will go, anything that you say goes into the matrix, especially teachings. Some things dissipate from the matrix because it has no meaning. But if you say something meaningful, it goes into the matrix. And so if there's a prayer that has been said, it will go into the matrix if it has a meaning for more than one species. I will give you a prayer.
Yes, please.
Ora kashinjibite. Yinana kararon. Ushinjibriandita. Waha hu uhia. Neshin shenjigawa. Continuum. Borakat. And zenzo quatati or quatanyan. War. Aho. Unje. Shmiyaboa. I am asking God to put in all of you a spirit of positivity, a spirit of hope, a spirit of advancement, that you may grow and become all that you need to become to help the earth survive and to move into the next density, also the next understanding and the next evolution. I ask God to bring you up and excite you about the things that are you, because each and every one of you has a purpose, and you should be excited about who you are in that purpose. That is what I prayed for.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Daniel has a question. He says, do the Star Wars movies portray something true?
Yes. Not everything in Star Wars is true, but there are some significant things. I found that they tapped into some significant technology, some significant truth about the universe and how it's run, and some species. The way they portray some species is fairly accurate.
Okay. Someone said, does it mirror the Orion Wars?
It is what?
Does it mirror the Orion Wars?
Maybe a little. There are some things in there that if you knew about the Orion Wars, it would seem to be a little bit about that, yes. Whoever wrote Star Wars actually must have seen some of the fighting out in space, because the way that it's captured is fairly accurate.
Okay, thank you. I think I've gone through every question.
Very well.
Nope, I lied. I did not. There are more. I'm moving. Okay. Oh, Richard, he's saying he's back on the Area 53. He says he would prefer, he wants to know if he's on the list, and he would prefer secret agents from Area 53 came to his house so he could sense if they're legitimate. I wouldn't trust a text.
Well, I don't think they're going to send a text. It would be something a lot more convincing than that. I think that what would happen is your spouse would appear on your phone. But that is only one guess. They're going through many different scenarios about how to contact. So I do not know what they will land on, but I thought that one was rather interesting.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. Okay, someone's saying they're seeing chemtrails in Tennessee. Okay. So Silver Fox has been talking in the chat about the CERN collider and a portal being opened. And she says, I think demons or angels that were cast out of heaven got loose when they opened the CERN portal. What do you think of that?
I think that area, there's somewhere in the European area, there's being released some negativity. I was told originally it was in Sweden, but there's some place in the European area where much negativity is being released. But they will not, you cannot tell precisely where it's coming from because it's dense.
Okay. Curious Light Channeler asks a question, says, do human emotions overwhelm some of the alien species? Do they have the level of emotions we have? Some of
It
them?
overwhelms them because they have telepathy. And sometimes the power of human emotions is stronger than their telepathy can handle. I'm not sure if you understand that or not, but they feel the emotions, they feel the words, they feel everything. And so they can be actually knocked back by some of the thoughts and emotions of humans because they're very, very strong and they're not controlled. And people that are telepathic will control their emotions, even though they might have deep emotions. On the surface, they will only bring so much out so that they do not overwhelm anybody else. And also they hide their deepest, darkest secrets from anyone seeing them. So they've learned to control the telepathy. But humans, when they come in contact with any humans and they're using their telepathy, they are sometimes overwhelmed by it.
Interesting. Okay. And let's see. Oh, Christine has a question. Go ahead, Christine.
Hello again, Takara.
Greetings.
I was wondering, can 3D weapons harm 4D and above persons? No.
No, third dimensional only harms third dimensional. Now, your people, your density has powerful weapons in the fourth dimension because they were given to them by reptilians and insectoids and greys in the past. And so they can affect the fourth dimension and damage ships in the fourth dimension because they have fourth dimensional technology. They have difficulty working it because they have to put third dimensional controls on fourth dimensional items. And this is almost too much for them at times. But they have learned how to do it well enough to cause damage.
Thank you.
Okay. And Tay wants to know, how do you get in contact with Area 53? Because she understands her galactic family is fighting the hardest to visit due to her galactic status.
The galactic, you will not be able to get a hold of them. They will get a hold of you. They know that you exist. They know who you are. They know where you are. And then when the right time comes, they will give you that information that you need to have to understand that you are going to go meet your spouse. How they're going to do that, I am not certain yet, but you will not contact them. They know all about you, though.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Let me see. Hak Numan Soksan says hello to you.
Greetings.
And Silver Fox says, are these new babies with black eyes? Are they alien?
Yes,
Hybrid?
they are hybrid human aliens, correct. They are born into the world from the human body, so they're partially human and they will take
Yes.
a human form, but
Right.
they will have telepathy, psychic energies and powers, and will be very intelligent.
Great. Okay, perfect. So I think we have all the questions. Can you believe it? Unless is Sheer back?
Sheer, are you back?
Yes. Have you called on me
I called
before?
on you, but you weren't there. So she'll ask
Ah.
you the next question.
Well, on the 24th of October, like almost a week ago, I had a dream that I can only describe as biblical. After a very long time that I haven't had any dreams, can you tell me if there's any significance to it?
Yes, there is. You would have to share the dream for me to interpret it, but they are telling me that this was a very powerful dream and that it has some very powerful messages in it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right. Thank you. We are at the time for the last. We've had the last questions, and yeah.
Very well. I will leave you now and bring Jim back. It was
Perfect.
wonderful to speak to you. I'm sorry that I took up so much time, but I think it was necessary to answer some of these questions.
No, it's nice to have you. We don't have you enough.
Thank you. Much love to you all. And
Much love.
I will leave for now.
Great.
Much love.
We actually answered all the questions in the chat and in the room. So yay, yay. Sorry, my chair makes a lot of noise.
Hello?
Hello, welcome back. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Have a
We had a
where are
long,
we?
nice chat with Takara and with
Oh,
Elijah.
yeah, okay. Good. I'm
Yeah.
going, all right, bye.
So we're
Yeah, I'm
going to
not
do some
back yet.
blessings at the end.
Okay.
We'll have Angie do a blessing. Does anyone else want to do a blessing? Just say yes in the chat.
Okay.
And everyone, please be sure to smash the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And next week, we're going to do what we're supposed to do last week, but we didn't have the webinar. We're going to do Psychic Saturday, and we're going to do some Ho'oponopono forgiveness prayers and blessings for different places in the world and for ourselves, and do some psychic questions for people. So
Ho'oponopono.
thank you, David.
You're welcome.
Ho'oponopono.
I
It's
lived
hard
in
to say.
Hawaii.
You get the ono-onos and you can't stop. All right. Oh, blessing. Barbara wants to do a blessing. So, okay. Barbara, go ahead.
Katakatia hoko wakahiata kaniki. Kashitiki pikiata konoko shi. Kapakatihia katukwaki. Pahahiata kiamana katukosho. Kishia pakashitia kiata kuwapakihiata kienini. Kuatiata kataketiata kuwapa.
Thank you. David, do you want to do a blessing?
We are here to straighten the light, to bring it forth in a very profound way, to make it full of the energy that is needed for your planet. And so therefore we are sending it in volume to the earth. We would like to see it return in volume as well.
Thank you. Sorry for that. David, go ahead.
Ke matiaro sanan yesa kuskiba achi chiwa. Tianan yera tutoria kikiara. Ura anyesro o aki. Deep within the essence. Kura ma ati chiar. Uru oku kinji chiwa. Share the love. Kura anya tere tu ma aki nia ora. Asha re kikiasha.
Thank you so much.
Yes, there are those that are sharing their love with the world, and it is helping. But many of you are still separated from others who need to be brought in. And you're saying to yourself, if they would allow it, I would bring them in. But you must be praying about this day and night to bring those that you love that are separated back into your life. It does not just happen. It will have to be an urgent prayer and work for you to bring all things back together. Very well.
Thank you so much. So we'll have Jim back in 2 weeks. Much love to everyone. Have a fantastic week, and we will see you very much next time.